Yo, yo, ladies and gentlemen. All right, special edition New Year's Eve, pero I was trying to do the tie, but I can't, man. It's too tight, man. Yo, New Year resolution, lose some weight. Let's go. Hola, ¿qué tal, mi gente? Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the last day of the year. It is New Year's Eve. I actually took this prop from my church because I actually like these hats. And I love blue. So it may not match, but we're going to make it work. And I'm not going to lie to you, man. I was really trying to button this up. I was trying to look super spiffy for you guys. Is that even a word? Spiffy? 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 I don't even know if that's a word. But I'm really excited because of the fact that we get to finally close out another year. We know that it's been challenging these past couple years, but there's always some good things that we can get out of this. This is Pasión Friday. My name is Noan El Boricua. Welcome, where we always talk about cultura, faith, y conexiones. We hope you guys had a very safe holiday season. We hope that you guys have enjoyed your top fives. If you listen to the radio or if you listen to certain podcasts, they're always recapping everything that's top this, top that. What were the top stories of the year? And I think for me, I just want to share with you guys I'm just excited that we get to see, God willing, another new year of opportunities, of new goals, and really just learnings and the opportunity to be able to level up. And if that's you, I want you to hit like or hit in the comment how you're going to level up for 2022. But I kind of wanted you guys just kind of some thoughts for me as we go into this last day of the year and how we can go into the new year. And what does that look like? And I got a book which I put somewhere, and I'm going to go get that because I want to read something that I hope it can resonate with you. Bam. All right, I got the book. Now, I wanted to read this quote. I want to say thank you to those that actually, because I did pose the question, what kind of topic you want me to touch on for this last video of the year. So in good New Year's Eve fashion, many of you are asking about being intentional, sticking to a habit or a goal or a purpose. So I wanted to read this quote, and this is out of the book that I've been telling you guys, do it for a day. It's kind of a book where it's 30 days. Every chapter is about a 10-minute read each one, and then you kind of do you do the exercise of the one question, and you, as I said last week, 2 weeks ago, you stack the habit in order to be able to break the old one. So this is the quote. Quote, don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. Yes, the longer you wait, the harder it will get. So there was something in the book that I just recently read. I felt that it was only right to be able to kind of share this one chapter with you guys. And I think one of the biggest things that we need to understand is that if we're going to be intentional, if we want to be able to stick to the goal of whatever that is that you guys are going to do, seek out the intention of the following. Cambia la rutina. Just change the routine. I think a lot of times we always rely on ourselves, that we feel that, I'll get to it, no worries. It's not about that. Look, I think one of the greatest things, and I want to read you guys this story that Mark Batterson said here, and it was here, quote, in June of 1976, and this is for all my local people, you probably remember this story. If not, here it is. A massive explosion leveled half a city block in Los Angeles. It killed 9 people. It was caused by an 18-inch miscalculation. While excavating on the 9500 block of Venice Boulevard, someone cut into a petroleum pipeline, releasing thousands of gallons of pressurized gasoline. It wasn't the first or the last accident of its kind, but the enormity of the tragedy led to the use of color-coded utility markings. So he goes on and says, if you live in an urban area, you've probably seen sidewalks sprayed, painted with red and yellow green markings. And really, to be honest, those markings were a mystery to not just the author, but to me until I finally read about this. And it basically is that you get a new sidewalk, and then next thing you know, there's these spray paintings on there. But there's a reason why. Because it's the above ground marking maps, the underground networking of pipes, of tubes, of there writes all the crisscrosses, not just in Los Angeles, but all across America. In the chapter, it talked about kind of like these sub-behaviors that was based in Duke University. And literally, I have some notes here. 45% of our behavior is automatic. In other words, it's just subconscious. So those habits always kind of crisscross our habits. And we need to understand that in order to be intentional and have purpose, We have to deconstruct and reconstruct our habit cycles. That you need to kind of identify like those markings that we just talked about in our lives in order to get where we want to get to in this new year. My hope, and I wanted to read this because here's the thing. If we want to be able to set a goal, if we want to be intentional, you got to change the routine. You got to break the habit. I think what's crazy, I'm gonna read the following. Dr. Erickson said, quote, "Your therapy isn't going to require very much when it comes to breaking habits. Here was his prescription. You can do all the smoking you want. You buy your cigarettes one package at a time by walking to the other side of town to get the package. As for doing your own cooking, well, you haven't much to do so shop 3 times a day. Buy only enough for one meal, but no leftovers. As for dining out, there are a lot of good restaurants a mile or 2 away that will give you a chance to walk. As for drinking, I see no objection to your drinking. There are some excellent bars miles away. Get your first drink in one bar, your second drink a mile away, and you'll be in excellent shape before no time." And he was kind of talking about this of a patient that wanted to, 1, lose weight, 2, trying to just get back into shape, but they didn't want to stop drinking, they didn't want to stop smoking, as the story goes. I think for me, when I read this, it's kind of like reverse psychology, as the author says in the book. What do I mean by that? That I don't know about these habits, but it worked. How? He interrupted the pattern. What is something that you need to interrupt in your life today to the pattern that you need to get to? And how intentional is it that you're doing this? How do we like combat the greatest things? And I'm not gonna get too biblical here, but that story of David and Goliath, I love the example because it was that true underdog story. Now the irony was that we read this story the wrong way. We think that David was the one at a disadvantage. For those that don't know, King David, biblical character, King David of Israel, smaller dude before he was a king, let me make sure, and goes up against this really big guy named Goliath, aka a giant. And in the story, many people think that David was the one at a disadvantage. If they had been engaging to hand-to-hand combat, yes, David would be at a disadvantage. But David perceived a disadvantage in terms of size, experience, and it turned out to be the greatest advantage for him. Goliath was infantry, right? All he had was a ground game. David was artillery. You guys follow me? He used the skill set that he cultivated as a shepherd. So what's cool is that in the book of David and Goliath, Malcolm Gladwell cited a study by Ethan Hisrich of ballistics experts with Israel Defense Forces, and according to him, the average size stone hurled by an expert slinger could travel the length of a football field, 100 yards. So when you think about this, David was not the underdog. Goliath was. He was far off in the valley, not David. You guys follow me? And I think for me is that the weakness that they perceived was actually his strength. And I think for me, when we look at this story, my hope is like asking the question is, look, we all have giants that we gotta like confront in order to be able to get to where we need to get to in 2022. My hope is you understand that you do have some advantages. You just gotta change the routine, right? Rework the plan and be intentional and be committed. Look, just try to stay committed for 30 days, at least 30 days. And that should help you out. Can I give you guys another one? Because you guys know that I love to be able to say, hey man, how do we make a difference? Interrupt someone's pattern on a daily. Maybe there's someone that you walk by at the coffee shop, smile, say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Interrupt someone's pattern because that could just actually make someone's day. Again, you can shift the atmosphere with a single compliment. My hope is that as you go into 2022, as I am, that we can learn a lot of these challenges that we have, that we can be able to go forward, that we can be able to be very goal-minded and also very intentional towards the prize of what we're looking for to get better at in 2022. Or maybe we're taking on a new challenge. I don't know what that looks like for you guys. But think about it. Solutions to our biggest problems are very rarely less or more of the same. 2022, you have to break the rules, you have to change the game, you have to jump the curve. Está listo? Because if you're struggling with like making or breaking the habit, maybe it's time to try something different. After all, the author said it here, your system is perfectly designed for the results you're getting, end quote. Mic drop. Here's the thing. Try to reverse engineering your routines and then reconstruct them differently. Hágalo diferente. How do you do it? Maybe you add a prompt. Maybe you change something very small. It does not have to be complicated. That's the beauty of this. It could be just a deep breath to be able to reset yourself. As simple as that. My hope that you understand you need a shift from self-consciousness to other consciousness. Because a lot of times the greatest answer to be able to be intentional and get into your goals of 2022 is to look around your inner circle. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I have for you. I hope you guys have a safe New Year's. I hope that you guys enjoy with your friends and family, your loved ones. Y bueno, para toda nuestra gente en el Caribe, Latinoamérica, Feliz Dia de los Reyes. We're about to celebrate that very soon. And my prayer, my hope is that you guys have a blessed week. And yo, let's get after it. Hey, what's a goal you're going after? Let me know. All right, guys. Check it out, fieldpasionpodcast.com. Season 4 is going to be launching mid-January on all podcast platforms. Y más que todo, like my abuelita says, Feliz Año Nuevo y que Dios te bendiga.